Hi, everyone. Welcome to the TimingResearch.com Analyze Your Trade, episode number 179 for November 30th, 2021. And we are recording this at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is David Kosmeter. I'm the creator of TimingResearch.com. And today we will be discussing your trade ideas. So today I arranged for my original partner and co-creator of Analyze Your Trade on today. It's great to have him back, Dean Jenkins of Follow Me Trades, and he's going to talk about your trade ideas and the list that the audience has suggested. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Dean.
All right. Hey, thanks, David. It's great to be back. It's been a little while since I've been here, but like you were just saying before we started, 4 years ago, we kicked this thing off, and that's a lot of episodes and a lot of symbols analyzed. Yep. It's good to be here. I enjoy this. And so for the attendees, hey, I'm Dean Jenkins, founder of FollowMeTrades.com. There I am. There's my website. And I have a stock picking service, a live trading room, and some educational stuff going on. But what about the market today, huh? So the Dow just closed down 650 points on growing Omicron fears and Powell's taper comments. So Mr. Powell, chairman of the Fed, said, wow, with this inflation, we may have to speed up the taper, right? Slowing down the rate of the bond purchases. I thought, isn't this the guy who said that this inflation was transitory not very long ago? For any of us who have been to the store over the last 6 months, we were pretty sure that we did have inflation and it didn't look that transitory, but Mr. Powell seems to have come to that conclusion now. But the market was down Friday when the news broke about Omicron, and then Monday we had a little rebound, and then today back down again, kind of big time. The NASDAQ wasn't down as much as the Dow and the S&P 500. And that was for one reason, and one reason alone, and it's this gentleman right here, Tim Cook. So if you look at just for fun here, right, for the NASDAQ 100, who was up today? Essentially one company, Apple. Everybody else, the NASDAQ 100 was down to varying degrees with at last look, it was Intuit leading the pack, down 6%. But Apple is, the NASDAQ is a weighted index, and as Apple's a big part of that. And the article about that said, well, the reason Apple was up was they are now considered the flight to quality, almost like gold. And they got a couple tanker truck loads of cash, right? They can weather pretty much any storm for quite a while. And here's an intraday look at the S&P 500, the SPY ETF. And this was, we talked about this in my trading room this morning. So at the open, you can see overnight, we had this gap down. I didn't want it that thick, I wanted it medium. And then overnight it drifted up. And then here we are at the open, it was still down and it drifted up a little bit. And in my trading room, right about 8 o'clock Pacific time, so 11 o'clock Eastern, I said, hey, based on this big gap down, this is just a retracement into a Fibonacci zone. These are Fibonacci retracement lines, and watch for a reversal. And if we get a pretty clear reversal, right, it's going to new lows, and you might have an intraday short opportunity. And these green lines are the target zone for a Fibonacci extension. And look at that, went right into it. That was a pretty good day trade if you were watching that and could take a short. So that was fun. It's cool when it works out. When you make a forecast, it doesn't always happen. But we got probability and all that stuff with our tools, and when it does happen, it's kind of fun. Yeah, it's fun to be right. All right, so let's before I get into analyzing the trade ideas, probably should tell you, what kind of tools I'm going to be using to do that. I use a very simple, repeatable approach to Elliott wave. I'm simply looking for an impulsive move, a correction, and a continuation. What that looks like. an impulsive move is a big move up, and then there's a correction, and I look for Fibonacci levels to correct to, and then a continuation of that original trend up to Fibonacci extension levels. That's really what I'm looking for. Try to keep it simple. And you know, there's all kinds of complicated ways to interpret Elliott wave, but I'm just looking for impulsive moves, corrections, continuations. I use Ichimoku cloud for trend confirmation. You know, green cloud and price above it is an uptrend. Red cloud, price below it's a downtrend. No more complicated than that. I got two moving averages. This heavy line is a 200-day moving average. The lighter one is a 50-day moving average. I've got a momentum indicator. And then I use Dow theory, right? Trend change is a high, higher, low, new high. Dow theory. And so when we get a high, higher, low, new high, price above the cloud, cloud green, right? Wow, that's an uptrend. What do we got going on the S&P right now? Well, we got a low, right? We're still in the cloud. It's still green. We're still above the 50s. But if we break down below this, we probably got a drop coming to at least the 200, which is typically a pretty strong support area. So you'll see that in action as we go through some of the more trades. But those are the tools I'm using, the analysis I'm going to bring to the picture here. So I've got the list of trades that you guys submitted and David has sent me. And we're going to go through and I'll make a few notes on each of these. So the first one up here is GLD, the gold ETF. I've been watching gold and it's a mess, right? If you just look, I'll get rid of, you know, we were analyzing the trade previously. Let me get rid of these. If you just look, right, it's choppy, man. It, you know, it moves up and then it moved down to a support level right here. Typically, you know, when the market is going to correct, gold can be a safe haven, a flight to quality, but with the advent of crypto, less so, right? So it had been in this channel, it broke out and then it came back down. So for me, gold is just too unpredictable, too erratic, right? It's below the cloud's still green, right? We don't really have impulsive moves. We just have random sort of chaos there. So for me, for gold, too volatile, no trade. My conclusion. Amazon. And Amazon, if we take a bigger look, of course they I just messed up my toolbar. Right, of course they had a huge run up, and since then it's kind of the same, just like we were looking at with gold, right? It was in a channel, it broke out, it pulled back. I just think there are more, and now it's in a wider channel. I think there's more predictable things we can have an edge with. Amazon's an amazing company. Bezos is the richest man in the world. He's a smart guy. But I don't have an edge in this trade, right? It's still technically in an uptrend, but it's heading down, it's losing momentum. So, you know, there's things out there that are just clearer and easier to trade. So I don't need to trade any particular symbol. What I want to trade is something that has an edge. All right. So what's the next one here? ICE. And by the way, type in questions or comments as you go. I'll definitely respond to them. I'll keep an eye on the chat box. All right. ICE is the Intercontinental Exchange Group. Don't know what they do. They trade at nice volume. So here we go. This is a potential trade. And what I'm looking at is an impulsive run up. It's been running up for a year and a half, right? Long time. This all here was a big impulsive run up. And now we see some weakness. We got a low, lower high, low. If this thing breaks below the 50 at least, I've already got some red on the momentum indicator. So I would set this up, right? I go, if it gets, down below here-ish, right? Then I might have a short trade. But it's got a trigger for me. I want to see it get below the 50-day moving average. I want to see the cloud. If it keeps going down, the cloud will narrow and then turn red. So potential short, watch. And so I'll type that in. And if it does start a downtrend, you may have a pretty good down move. And we can look at a Fibonacci extension or retracement down into this zone down here, potentially down to about 106. So that could be okay. It's not the best. It's not there yet, but it's worth watching. All right, IRM. So Iron Mountain, similar, had a big run up, started correcting, ran up again, hit resistance up at the top, up here, right before the all-time high. And now they had a pretty big down day, 3%, and it's down below the 50. And this has a pretty nice, I can't use that. I gotta get my scale right. There we go. So my retracement zone for Iron Mountain is down here about 35 bucks. What you got to watch is this prior low. It found support here, it found support here, and that coincides with the 200. So it could stop right there. So if you're going to trade that short, you got to pay attention to that. It could go deeper and break through, but it could hold. And you'd have to check the reward to risk on the trade. And my method for doing that is go, where would I put the stop? I put my stop here at this last high. If I were to enter it now, right? And let's say it was gonna stall here, right? Then my reward is from the entry to here, and my risk is from here to the stop, and it's about 1-to-1. So if I were to trade it, it'd be short, and it may be a good short candidate, but the reward to risk maybe isn't that great. So that's my take on that. BLNK, BLNK. All right, so BLNK, here we go. Big impulsive move up. The correction happened and it's starting up again. So from this impulsive move, where would we expect the retracement to go? What we look for is some predictability, right? That it's following kind of an established pattern. We would expect it to retrace between these blue lines. It's got to stay above this red line. It did. So that was a perfect impulsive move up, correction, and now we're looking for a continuation. And we want to, what do we want to see? High, higher, low, high, higher, low. It's above the 50. It's above the 200. It's in the cloud. The cloud is green. So if let's really let it get going. If it gets above the cloud, there's your entry. Currently, our stop would be at this low, and our target would be at a Fibonacci extension level, which is up here. We just put in mid zone between those green lines. That's huge, right? The reward to risk is huge. So that's a nice trade if it triggers and gets above the cloud. A lot about trading is, it's not like, it's pretty rare to come and have a group of stocks go, wow, enter now, man, it's ready. Quite often you're waiting, right? And it's nice to have a list of stocks, and if this happens and I like it, and if not, I'll move on. And that's kind of how it works. So next is SNPS. I don't know that I know that one, but I know how to read a chart. And this is a synopsis. I've heard that name. I don't know what they do. Okay, so this is a completed sequence. This was wave 3, the first impulsive move. Here's the correction. Here's the continuation. And I'll prove it. It was wave 3. Wave 3 always has, is the initial big move. The correction happened right into the retracement zone. And then the extension, the continuation, right? There we are. We're in the target zone already, and it had a big down day. So after 3, 4, 5, initial impulsive move, correction, continuation, there's typically a complex correction, kind of an ABC thing. Those can be very hard to trade. So for me, I'm not interested because I think this is now going to meander. So it's over. Nothing there. Finished trend. VCEL. And finding great trades is like a needle in a haystack, right? So VCEL, okay, what do we see? Big move up. We're in a correction. The correction's getting pretty deep. It is in the correction zone, not much more room to go. So it's got big momentum to the downside, right? And see this red line, if it goes below here, then that is the new impulsive trend to the downside. But for now, this is the main trend is up, right? That was the biggest move. Here's the correction. So I wouldn't try to short it here. At some point, it's going to probably, maybe, take off and go on to new highs. But so I wouldn't short it here, and you certainly don't have any indication to go long that the correction's over. So we're going to wait for a bullish move. VIRT. VIRT, financial, class A. So here's, it's kind of a sloppy chart. It's not the best, but here was wave 3, 4, 5. And I said, like when we looked at the one before, that after 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, you get a meandering thing, and that's what you got now. So there's no real trend, right? We're above the 200, the 50's below it, right? A real strong trend is when the 50 crosses above. It's called golden cross. So we're above the 200, the 50's below it. We're above the cloud's green, but we're kind of in a little channel right now. So there's just no trade for me. It's unpredictable, right? And what we want in a trade is an edge, right? We want it to be predictable. So for that, no trade. Pizza. It's Domino's, isn't it? Oh, Papa John's. I know it was pizza because it's pizza. All right. This one actually had, it's kind of sloppy, but a 3, 4, 5, it's finished. This could be a complex correction, and it really got beat up today, down 3.4%. There's no short yet. You got a support level here. You got a support at the 200. Right? You wouldn't want to go long, right? This is changing. Low, lower high, new low. So that uptrend looks like it's for the short term ending. But you just got some short level, some support levels that it could go up against. So it's tough. How's that? Short, but support in the way. We got, I did 9. Let me do 10, and then I'll show you a good one. All right. I'm hoping we find a good one that I like. I don't want to be a bummer. All right. QGEN. Never heard of that. NV, so that tells us that this is a non-US company listed on the US exchange. Man, it's been volatile lately, hasn't it? You see these gaps? Bam, 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 bam. It had a big run up, and now it's just in this complex channel, kind of between here now and here. You don't really want to trade it in here unless you know you're day trading or doing a very short-term thing. So yeah, it's too volatile, it's too unpredictable, right? We want predictability, we want an edge. All right. Well, I've just sat here and dissed all these trades. You know, there was a couple, right? Hey, potential. A couple, you know, ICE short, maybe. Blink long, maybe. Well, what do I like? We just took a new trade today, my service, XLC. Short. Why do I like it? Well, we had this big run up, and we're obviously in a correction now. Low, lower high, low, lower high, low. We are below the 200. We're below the cloud. We got negative momentum. I got to stop here at the last high. I took an entry here. earlier today, and my target is down here at the support level in the retracement zone. Look at the reward to risk. It's about 2 to 1. My risk is here to the red line. Blue is where I took the entry. Red's my stop. That's my risk. Entry to the target. This green line's my target, right? That's almost 2 to 1. So we jumped into that, and it's already in profit. That's awesome. And this looks like a real trend that could continue. Meets all my criteria for a nice short trade. And something like this, I like to trade with options. And so, you know, I just want plenty of time on the trade. This is an ETF. They're not going to be announcing earnings, right? And so I want to give myself, you know, a good 60, 90 days, something like that, and go in the money. And so I took the January 17, 2020, 21, January 21, $76 put, right? And bought a handful of them, and they're already in a little bit of profit. So that's a nice trade. So that's an example of what I am looking for, and there's a trade idea for you. All right, we're going to burn through this list pretty fast, dude. OIH. Van Ecker's oil, man, oil has been crazy. If you've watched the oil futures, right? We were up over 80. Seems like a few days ago, and as the Omni thing hit, oil just went absolutely berserk. So we're down at 66.80 today. And again, we were up over 80, right? If we look at this on a daily chart, see if I can do it here. There we go, right? Look how crazy it's been, how volatile it's been, these big, huge jumps. And man, look at this, down, and then back up yesterday, and then down again today. It has been crazy volatile. And so this is oil services ETF from Van Ecker. And of course, that's going to kind of track with oil. Big move down, climbed up. It's approaching, so you know, it's in a downtrend, right? You know, low, lower, high, low, negative momentum, below the moving averages, below the cloud. But we got some key support areas. Look at this prior low here. Look at this prior low here, right? It looks like, I don't think you would get a reward to risk to take this trade, because you know, my stop's going to be at the last high. If you enter here, the target potential support's here, right? This is bigger. So I just think it's in a downtrend. That's pretty clear, but the reward to risk is too thin on that one. So that's kind of like here, same story. Nuon, NUA. Okay, when you see this chart pattern, I would bet money. I would bet money I know what's going on. So what do we see on this chart? There's a big gap up, and then it went absolutely flat. That tells me there was a M&A offer. Somebody offered to buy them or something like that, right? And you know, here's the price they offered, and maybe they raised the price here, right? And now it's going to be flat until that deal either goes through or falls apart. I don't know. I've never heard of this company before, but I know this chart pattern, and there's a 99% chance that this was an M&A deal. I've just seen it so many times, or some other huge news like that. And the market is totally flat, waiting for the outcome and resolution of whatever that news is. And so you don't want to trade it in here. If you owned it, that's awesome, right? But you know, just look at this. There's nothing, right? Nothing there. VLCN. Volcon. Okay, we got a little history. So what we know is they just IPO'd back here. It IPO'd, dropped a little bit, shot up to 17 something from 7. So that's a big move, right? More than doubled. Big move up. It is beginning to correct. The trade here is to the short, to the downside. Right, we got a low, lower high, look for a new low here. And the target, we're just going to look at a retracement. And the target's going to be here. It's too close. If you enter here, the target's here, so that it's just too thin. And it trades at low volume, right? 152,000 shares today. That's not very deep. Trading thinly traded instruments can get you into trouble. You can always get in. Sometimes it could be hard to get out at a good price. And sometimes the bid-ask spread can get pretty crazy. Look at this. Bid 1426, ask 1575. That is like an 8% spread. It's huge. I wouldn't touch it. Lam Research, they're going to have plenty of liquidity. You know, and if it's this VLC, and if it's something you like and you think they got a great story and you want to buy it and hold it, that's different. I'm talking about trading, right? Just trading on, you know, swing trading moves, right? Lam Research. All right, finally, we got a good trade and it's ready to go right now. And they were only down a little on a big down day. That one. Okay. Here's the beginning of wave 3. And you can see it corrected. It was a little shallow, but it was clear, right? Low, lower, high, low. And we did have a reversing of the momentum indicator. We did get below the cloud. So Lam Research has a price target. And by the way, it's in an uptrend. High, higher, low, high, higher, low, high, above the cloud, above the moving averages, right? Price target is way up here. And that's going to take a while, a couple months, but it's in a really, really nice uptrend. So that one's ready to go now long. Who takes credit for Lam? Anybody here online said, I wanted that one. You do want to check. You don't want to trade, you know, oh, I'm long, you know, I'm good. And then find out, oh, they're going to report earnings as soon as I take my position. This is a great website, earningswhisper.com. They got this whole earnings whisper indicator. I don't care about any of that. They got the best database I've found for earnings dates, and it's January 19th. It's not confirmed. It's a little minus sign. So that's not confirmed yet, but that's the best data we have so far. And it's going to be around there. So hey, you got time. So that could be a good one, LRCX. And finally, Crowd. CrowdStrike. And this looks kind of like the one that I gave you that I like. Okay, anybody have an opinion who's been listening? Got a chat box there. Do you think I'm going to like this long or short? Type in there. You can type in an L or an S or the word. What do you think? I'll give you a minute. Elaine says short. Rosemary says short. Well, you've been paying attention, huh? Let's see if we got reward to risk on it. I mean, it's clearly in a downtrend. You know, fifth grader could tell you that. You know, if you look, you know, currently, if you look, is this going up or down? Well, it's going down, right? Low, lower, high, low, negative cloud, below both moving averages, negative momentum. Right? Big down day today, 3.31%. So we're going to have a little problem. Maybe. We don't need to guess. Get the data. We're going to put our stop here at this last little pull up. We're going to take our entry here. If it's at this price tomorrow, we'll see where it's at. And look in the retracement zone between these blue lines. Here's the first support level right here. So there's our target. Well, we got it, right? We got it. This is their risk. This is the reward. And this is almost double. Perfect, right? You don't want to trade where you could lose more than you could win, right? You got to win a lot of trades if you're going to do that. So this is a good looking trade. So crowd, let's see when their earnings are. Tomorrow. Wouldn't you know it? Well, come back tomorrow, and they're going to do it after the close. So you actually have to wait till Wednesday, right? And then see how it looks, right? And if they have amazing results and it gaps way up here, well, we're not going to do it. And if they have terrible results and it gaps down to here, we're not going to do it. But if it's kind of marginal and it's in this range, could be a trade there. Got to wait and see. Yeah, I did 15 symbols plus the one I gave you, 16 in half an hour. Right. What do you got? You guys are logged in here. I'll do a couple more. Rosemary, PayPal. PayPal has corrected. Big move up. I'll bet that's right in the retracement zone. So it's too late to go short. Bam, right in between those blue lines. Isn't that amazing? Right? Don't short it here. Don't short it here. PayPal's going to be around. They're a great company, right? And the next move would be up, but you're not ready. You got to wait for this to end, and then high, low, high. So don't short this here. I'm not giving financial advice. You do whatever you want. I would not short it here. This correction's just about over. And you can see the momentum coming out of it starting to tilt up. Zhang would like to look at Disney. Same deal. Looked like it was going to take off and then it got crushed. And I'm sure the Omna thing didn't help. So it's currently in its correction. Big move up. It's in the retracement zone. Hasn't hit the bottom yet. So there may be some more pain coming, right? This was probably earnings, this gap here. But it's, I wouldn't try to short it here. I would wait that out, right? I don't think there's anything there. All right. Well, I don't see any other requests coming in. If you liked, what you saw, how I'm doing this, would absolutely invite you to check it out a little bit more. Here's my website, TimingResearch.com. I'll paste it. It's in the chat box. There's my link. So, you can find out, hey, how do I do it? I go into more detail. I talk about my risk management, FAQs. I got some training. There's a free training thing you might like here. It's the top 5 habits of successful traders. And there's just some video recordings. There's some PDFs, right, where I explain, what makes traders successful. So that's free. You can check that out. And also, if you would like to, check out my stock picks, you can check it out for 30 days for $37, and that comes with the money back guarantee. After the 30 days, $97 a month, which, if you like what we're doing here, it's pretty good value for making money. All right. And Rosemary said, instead of short, how about buying PayPal? Let's go out and look at it. So here's my deal, right? I want to I want to prove that a trend is happening and that it's early and it's just beginning. And then I want to join that trend and try to ride it. Okay. So I think the downtrend in PayPal is almost over, but we don't have any evidence of the uptrend beginning yet. So we can be patient on something like PayPal, because how would we know that the downtrend was over? Well, we got Dow theory, right? Dow theory says a downtrend is a series of lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? And as long as that pattern continues and price doesn't go above the lower highs, that you're in a downtrend. That's a downtrend, right? And that's what PayPal did. Right? Low, lower, high, low, lower, high, low, lower, high, low, lower. Right? It's in a downtrend. Right? An uptrend is high, higher, low, high, higher, low. Right? That's an uptrend. It doesn't go in a straight line. So what I would look for on PayPal before I go long on it would be find a bottom. You need at least 3 data points to prove a trend change. High, higher, low, new high. I would like to see this momentum become positive. Ideally, we would like to see the cloud, right, flip and become green and become an uptrend. Then that would tell us, we would have 3 pieces of evidence, right, that we had an uptrend. And if it happens, so we don't have to jump it and try to get in, you know, and too early, because if it's really going to happen, we got time. Get rid of this scribbling, right? Because if and when PayPal takes off again, right, the next move is going to be up into this region. So we got plenty of time. Let's increase the probability. Let's don't try to guess. Right? High, higher, low, high, you know, in here, cloud moves, right? Maybe we get above the moving average. Now all of a sudden, this is a pretty sweet trade. We got a target clear up here. So there you go, Rosemary. Good, good. Alice. Oh, wait. Nat would like to look at LPLA. LPLA. Always want to know what it is. LPL Financial Holding. Okay, big uptrend. Low, lower, high, low, lower, high, low, down below the cloud. Negative momentum. Here it goes. Correction is beginning. You could take that short. I would put my stop this last high. I would take the entry if it, you know, tomorrow we'll see what it is there. And the target ultimately for the correction is right at this support level in the correction zone. Here's your target. It's not bad. It's 2 to 1 or better. I like that. There you go, Nat. Decent one. Snow 4D. Snowflake Inc. I was going to make a joke, but I won't. So I don't know you guys. Big run up. It's corrected already, right? Low, lower, high, big down day today. Got absolutely hammered. See where it opens tomorrow. You might have, you know, another move down deeper into this zone here. Maybe. Alice would like to look at VAL. IPO'd back here, big move up. Some news came out, obviously, maybe it was their first earnings report, big gap down. So you want to watch these gaps. Okay. If, you know, gap is, you know, it closed at some price here. Normally, price are the open pretty close to the previous session's price, you know, closed here. And then it opened, there was some news overnight, and it at the open was way down, right? Big gap. So obviously something happened. So you want to watch these gaps. These gaps can become resistance. So you just kind of want to see how that plays out. Well, that didn't work, did it? Quite often these gaps, right? Price may try to go back up, but it'll just keep hitting that, right? It won't go through it. And if it does that, if it goes back up and hits it and reverses, you could get more downside. It's not the best trade setup in the world, but that's what you watch for. David C. just got on what platform am I using? Can you get it in Canada? I am on TradeStation and I do not know whether it's available in Canada or not. Everything I'm doing here, you can do on any legitimate platform. I can do the same thing on Thinkorswim. I've got that loaded here. I use it too. CVS. So it just finished 5 waves. That was 3, that was 4, that was 5. It's starting the complex correction and they got caught in the market downdraft. So I don't, I like to trade the impulsive move, the correction, the follow through. I don't really like to trade the complex correction. We wait for a new trend to form. So, and it's finding support here. So there's not really a trade setup, right? Again, we don't have to trade, wow, how do I trade CVS? The question is, should I? And for me, the answer to that is no. Hey, Matt. Okay, it's trying to get, here's 3, here's 4. It's trying to get 5 going. Got caught a little bit in the market downdraft. It's down today. So it's channel a little bit. There could be a long trade if it, if people that trade it shrug that off. If you start getting some highs above here, right? Because we got a nice high, higher low. If it starts putting in highs, you could have a target on AMAT, up in here. It's got to get going. Let it take out this high, and then it got plenty of room up to 200. No need to rush it. Okay, that was Nat. And I think that's a good place to break it. Once again, if you want to check out more, go to my website, followmetrades.com. I'll put that in the chat one more time. And check out the free stuff under training. There's a top habits. I got courses for sale here. And you can jump into this trial as well and check out my picks and join my trading room and see if we can get some winners. Well, we knocked out a good handful. We did over 20, I'm sure. So I think we spent our time well, found some interesting ones. And with that, I'm going to hand it back to you, David. Hey, thanks, Brian, Rosemary, everybody else. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, lots of good info today. So thanks for being here, Dean.
Yeah, glad to do it.
All right. So yeah, just a reminder for everyone, be sure to subscribe to Timing Research on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. And you can also just go to TimingResearch.com to get access to this show as soon as I can get it posted. Also, any of the past shows and events, if you missed those, they're permanently available on the site, including if you did not see the big Friendsgiving event we did a couple of weeks ago. We had 36 presentations over 4 days. So lots of great education there that you can catch up on if you haven't yet. And just want to thank my guest again today, Dean Jenkins, my original co-creator of this series, the Analyze Your Trade series. So Dean Jenkins of Follow Me Trades. Great having you here.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. Thank you, David, for inviting me.
All right, let's do this again soon. So I'll talk to you soon. And thanks, everyone.